Okay, G. So, in continuation with the essays, we were discussing about the advantages. The very first advantage is that it is the simplest absolute method. I have already discussed you what actually the essays are. So, considering that, it is a very simple method in which we are just to the point and we give independence to all the employees in which they can write whatever they want to or whatever they think that it is necessary to tell the HR. Then it is individualized for each employee, as I have already told you. Then it can be done anytime, and it has potential for detailed feedback because we write in essay form and we write in details. But the disadvantages are that it is unstructured and may lack detail. Then it also depends on supervisor's writing skills. Then it comparisons virtually impossible and lack of quantitative information and very difficult to use in personnel decisions. बिकॉज इसमें होता ये है, डिसएडवांटेजेस इसके ये हैं कि हम इसको क्वान्टिफाइबल फॉर्म में नहीं लेके आ रहे होते, हम क्वालिटेटिवली जो है वो उसको हम स्टडी कर रहे होते हैं और उसमें जो है वो काफ़ी बग्स भी आ सकते हैं, प्रॉब्लम्स भी आ सकते हैं, डिसीजन मेकिंग के अंदर भी प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकते हैं, इंटरप्रिटेशन के अंदर प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकते हैं. तो ये तमाम की तमाम चीज़ें जो हैं ये बेसिकली हो सकती हैं जिससे प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट हो सकती हैं. ओके जी. सो नेक्स्ट कम्स द critical incidents. As far as the critical incidents are concerned, there are also some advantages and some disadvantages. First one is basically it focus on actual job behavior. Then it provides specific examples and employees identify with rating. अब critical incidents के अंदर होता ये है कि different incidents के अंदर उसने जो है वो किस तरह से बिहेव किया. मतलब कोई भी एम्प्लॉय है, ऑब्वियसली इंसिडेंट्स आते हैं, जो है वो प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं, तो उन प्रॉब्लम्स में उसने जो है वो किस तरह से उसको जो है वो ट्रीट किया, क्या सिचुएशन को ठीक तरीके से हैंडल किया, नहीं किया, कितने ठीक तरीके से किया, कितने गलत तरीके से किया. तो उसके अंदर जो है वो हम क्रिटिकल इंसिडेंट्स को देखते हैं. नाउ as far as the advantages are concerned, there are some disadvantages also. So what are the disadvantages? It is first of all that it is collecting critical incidents can be very time consuming. It is because it is similar to the essays. In essays we write the whole things in the detail form. Similarly, the format is the same in critical incidents. We also write in the detail form. Then it is the quantification is very difficult because it is also a qualitative part. So while taking the decisions or while interpreting the critical incidents, it is very difficult for the managers to grab what they actually want to. So these are basically the critical incidents. Now then there are some graphing rating scales. Before going to the advantages and disadvantages, I would like to show you its format so that you can see first of all that what actually the graphing rating scales are, and then we will go into the advantages and disadvantages. So this is basically an example of graphing rating scales format. Now if we see in the performance factor column, there are basically two things in a row. The first one is the quality of work, is the accuracy, skill and completeness of work. The second one is quantity of work, is the volume of work done in a normal work day. So it is regarding effectiveness and efficiency, and same is the quality of work and quantity of work. So if you can see in the performance rating, there are different basically options in which we rate its performance. What is that? The first one is consistently unsatisfactory. The second one is occasionally unsatisfactory. Then the third one is consistently satisfactory. Then sometimes superior. Then consistently superior. So there are 5 different rating scales in which we scale each and every part. Now we can rate quality of work, as consistently satisfactory or sometimes superior or consistently unsatisfactory. Then we have quantity of work, that can be also consistently superior or consistently unsatisfactory. So these are basically the different parts. There is another example also. If you can see, okay, this is basically, that was basically the same example. So this is an example of graphing rating scales. Now, considering this example, let's come to its advantages and disadvantages. So its advantages are that it has meanings, it has interpretations, and dimensions being rated are very clear, as you have already seen in the example. Then it is useful and it is quite accurate. Also, it is more popular tool. As we have already discussed regarding behaviors, that we discussed about that the behavior has competencies and competencies has indicators. So these are basically the indicators. So through these indicators we come to the conclusion of measuring competencies, and as a sum it has behaviors. So through that we basically goes to the behavior. So it is very useful and accurate, and it is the most popular tools in most of the organizations. The disadvantages are that it is also time consuming and resource laden to develop. Then it lacks individualized feedback and recommendations. Okay ji. So now let's come to measuring performance. There are several types of methods. Now we have already discussed about all the methods, but the only difference is in terms of practicality and usefulness. अब यहाँ पे होता क्या है कि हम इसमें ये देख रहे होते हैं कि हमने टाइम एंड एफर्ट की तरफ जाना है या हमने क्वांटिफाइबल फॉर्म के अंदर जाना है। बहुत सारी जगहों के अंदर हम एक ही टास्क जो है वो हम बार बार रिपीट कर रहे होते हैं, लेकिन उसका इम्पैक्ट भी होता है। अब हम ये देख रहे होते हैं कि एक टास्क अगर उसने परफॉर्म किया है तो उसका इम्पैक्ट कितना था हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की ऑब्जेक्टिव्स की तरफ, और दूसरी तरफ जो है वो हम ये देख रहे होते हैं कि वो अपनी टाइम और एफर्ट कितनी लगा रहा है। तो क्वांटिफाइबल के अंदर जो है वो उसकी एफिशिएंसी से भी रिलेटेड होती है, और हम उसको जो है वो यूज़फुलनेस में भी जब हम देखते हैं तो हम देख रहे होते हैं कि वो कितना हमारे लिए यूज़फुल था, और प्रैक्टिकलिटी के अंदर हम ये देख रहे होते हैं कि वो अपनी एफर्ट कितनी लगा रहा है। हमने इस लेक्चर के अंदर पहले भी डिस्कस किया था कि जब हम बात करते हैं प्रैक्टिकलिटी की, तो बहुत सारी जगहों के अंदर हमारे पास होता इस तरह से है कि हमारी जो एफ़र्ट है वो हम बहुत ज़्यादा लगा रहे होते हैं, लेकिन कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव जो है या वो हमारा मिशन जो है वो अकम्प्लिश हो जाए, लेकिन हम एफ़र्ट बहुत ज़्यादा लगा रहे होते हैं, हम टाइम बहुत ज़्यादा लगा रहे होते हैं। तो एक टर्म तो ये है कि हम उसमें वो चेक कर रहे होते हैं, दूसरी टर्म ये है कि हम कितनी दफ़ा कोशिश कर रहे होते हैं। तो आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट एक्चुअली द परफॉर्मेंस इज। Now let's come to some other methods. These are very popular methods, and these are the latest methods that are being used in most of the innovative organizations or most of the MNCs. And one of them is MBOs. It is called management by objectives. So I have already put what you can say a format of management by objectives. Now if you can see, मैनेजमेंट बाय ऑब्जेक्टिव्स होते क्या हैं कि आपकी जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स होते हैं वो बेसिकली हम आगे दे देते हैं, जो ह्यूमन रिसोर्स होता है हम उसको दे देते हैं, और हम उसकी जो सारी की सारी परफॉर्मेंस है वो हम चेक ही MBO से करते हैं। तो इफ़ यू कैन सी, इट इज़ बेसिकली a format of Larsen and Tubro Limited, and if you can see that it is a performance appraisal system. They are measuring their performance through management by objectives. So first of all, in the first column they have written the employee name, its date, its signatures, then immediate superior, then next immediate superior, then personnel or HR department's name, date and signatures. In the next you can see that it is a performance review against objectives. Now By employee, we write agreed objectives and targets over here, and then we write what kind of results they have achieved, in which we have rated as outstanding, very good, good, adequate, and inadequate. Then we gave an option of self-review that is done by the employee, and then there is significant contributors, that is job or profession related, and it is not covered above. Then there is important factors facilitating performance, then it is important factors hindering performance. Okay ji, so in the next it is appraisal of critical attributes, that is by immediate superior. Now it contains innovativeness, initiative, interpersonal and team relationship, resourcefulness, communication skills, and it is also some critical attributes. They are explained, all these innovativeness, initiative, interpersonal and team relationship, they are all explained in the next column. And then there are some rating options also. In the next part, there are areas of strengths and improvements, the major strengths and areas of improvements, then potential areas for growths, then they have recommendations for training and development. Then you can see that they have written in company training programs where it is description code. So the main objective to just show you the management objective was to just to have an overview that how MBOs basically work, because it is, we have read already all the measuring criteria, but nowadays MBOs are considered to be one of the most effective, or we can say efficient method that are being used by the most of the organizations. So these were basically the parts of what you can say the MBOs and all other things. इसमें जो है वो आज हमने ये देखा, या हमने पिछले लेक्चर के अंदर भी हमने ये देखा कि हम किस तरह से चीज़ों को मेजर कर सकते हैं. हम जब परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल की तरफ आएंगे तो हम चीज़ों को कैसे मेजर करेंगे, कौन सा क्राइटेरिया यूज़ करेंगे जिसके थ्रू हम एम्प्लॉयज़ को बेहतर तरीके से जो है वो मेजर कर सकें. और हम क्विक रिव्यू ले लेते हैं इस चैप्टर का, जो कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमने मेजरिंग रिजल्ट्स पढ़े, जिसके अंदर हमने अकाउंटेबिलिटीज़ आइडेंटिफाई करना सीखी, हमने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स किस तरह से सेट करने हैं उसके बारे में हमने देखा. Then we discuss to determine standards of performance. Then basically we see that how the behavior should be measured, in which we discuss about the competencies, indicators, then we choose measurement system. So this was basically the whole chapter all about. If you have any questions, we will discuss it in the discussion portion. Okay ji, thank you so much.